All right, guys, welcome back. A little bit longer break than normal, but that's all right. We're gonna go ahead and get started with your guys' questions. So before I actually start this, though, I'm gonna link it one more time. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them. We will absolutely answer them as long as we have time. All right. First question is from Craig Boomer, and he asks, "Hey, just wondering why the Top Cut Weekly Skype podcast episode thing with you guys hasn't been uploaded to YouTube. Being in the UK, I can watch, listen live. I can't watch, listen live. Thanks a lot for watching. We actually didn't do a show last week. I think that's what you were referring to. But
No. He's referring to the fact that we just haven't put it on YouTube.
Oh, which one? Weeks ago?
The past two.
Past two?
The ones where I couldn't record.
Yeah, the ones that Drew was streaming. I have the videos. I'm going to put them together. They're kind of a mess, but I'll try.
All right, then. But yeah, for those of you that don't know, we actually do put our our videos on YouTube. Go ahead and check out our YouTube channel. It's full of not only Top Cut shows, but lots of tournament matches, lots of streamed matches, and pretty much a lot of things that you, whatever you can imagine, we've probably done it. So go ahead and check it out and subscribe to us on YouTube if you guys can.
I can imagine a lot of things, man.
Yeah, we haven't done everything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Man, we'll try it one.
I have.
Kidding.
You can find videos of me doing everything imaginable.
All right. So next question.
Not imagining good things.
All right. The next question is from Jonathan Gomez. He asked, "How good is the Execute in Spiral Force?" And that's the set that I believe just got spoiled a couple of days ago on Poke Beach. And he mentions that the card has 30 HP. It's a basic Pokemon, obviously, and it's got an ability. It's called Sap Sipper. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon's in your discard pile, you can put it into your hand, and it's got a really bad attack.
I saw a really cute combo with this. I was looking at the translations for it on Poke Beach, and I
mean,
saw.
obviously, first thing that comes to mind is things like Ultra Ball, Computer Search, and whatnot.
Yeah. But there's a Weevil that came out that it does 30 times the number of Pokemon you discard. So when you have 4 Executes in your discard, you bring them all back, and that's at least 120. Cool, right?
Weevil and Execute working together, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's you just do it.
It's 40 times the number of Pokemon you discard?
30 times.
30 times.
So it's not a lot, but it's cool. It's up there with Excel Drill.
You get Dark Claw.
Extra Drill.
It's really... I was going to say it's really susceptible to end, but really it isn't, because you just use the ability on your turn.
It's up there with Crustle. Vileplume.
You're going to do it.
Yeah. Bad deck Monday.
That is really, really cool. I can see it being a very fun deck. Who knows, maybe even potentially playable. I think the ability is so unique that you automatically have to be like, okay, well, what can I do? What can I do with this card and whatnot? And we all know Exeggutor has a special place in my heart, so we'll see what happens.
I mean, maybe if they come out with a really good Exeggutor, oh man, that Execute's gonna be nuts. So
that
good.
30 hit points is scary though.
Yeah, you never want to start with that. But if you're running Weevil, you already probably run 20, 30 Pokemon anyways. So no chance of starting with it.
Yeah, no chance, right?
No chance.
0%. All right. So right away, first impression, because I hadn't seen it until just right now. My first impression is really cool, very unique, and I can see it being very playable. So good find.
I don't see it being playable, but it's cool.
I see it being played on certain days by a certain someone.
Maybe a certain day of every week it might get used.
People have said that before. People used to say that a lot about other Executes. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
It might be on some Tuesdays.
Wednesdays?
Some Wednesdays maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
Man, I really miss that Exeggutor deck so much.
Sundays, the Eagles will play it.
You know, if it makes it to stream, maybe on Sundays.
Franco Lamas III asked what our opinion on Sigilif is. Now, I think it's been pretty well known that we all kind of fell on the Sigilif bandwagon pretty recently. Some before others. And I don't think that we have very many negative things to say about the card, do we?
I don't know, but I've been driving that cart for a little bit.
I haven't had that card, huh?
So
This is my thing with Sigilif. It's like, here is the chart of what people think of it. At first, it was, whoa, this card's awesome. It can knock out Mewtwo. It's got Safeguard. And then people start using it, and it's, this card's not very good. And then a new set comes out, and people start playing multiples of it. We're like, this is kind of good again. And then this is where we're at right now. And then people are going to start playing non-EXs, and it's going to go back down.
oh yeah, that's
Which
definitely
is
how it
fine,
goes.
because then at that point, that one card really just messed the metagame up so much that you kind of have to, give
But
it
then
a...
you meta game, and you don't even play Sigilif. You're just like,
Well, no. But the point is that the card already had its effect. The card's already making its impact. So whether people keep using it or not, the fact that people have to respect the sigil means so much that you kind of have to just say, all right, this card's good. This card's really good. Nothing else I can do about it.
I was kind
I
of
have to respect-
It's kind of sad when you hear some of Kyle's war stories about Sigilif.
Oh, yeah. I decked someone out this weekend.
It's like,
Wait.
really, guy? This Kyle's like at the time.
I've actually
like,
decked out 2 people with Sigilif.
Kyle's probably at the time like 15, 16-0, and then like you're still losing to this guy.
Anyways, the next question is going to be from Andrew Wambolt, and he asks, outside of Hammer Time, what decks do you think are best suited for a Kling infested metagame? And what do you think as Pinsir as an What do you think of Pinsir as an unconventional tech for decks playing DCE as a counter?
Honestly, if you want to like really take out Kling, you just play 4 Crushing Hammers or Enhance Hammer. Like if it blows up to such an extent that you can't deal, right? You just play 4 Enhance Hammers and you'll probably just win.
I think the simplest way to beat Kling is just use an energy acceleration Pokemon plus Mewtwo. Because once you just kind of knock out the thing that has all their energy, they can't do anything anymore.
Yeah.
So they don't have any energy acceleration.
Yeah, so like Electric would be very good versus Kling, because like,
Blastoise, too.
yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still going to be kind of close, because Kling is a deck that just has so many options that it can honestly come back from a lot of stuff. But in general, if you want to beat that deck, knock out their attacker in one hit. That's really your way to win.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. That makes sense. So really, it's Enhance Hammer, something like Eels, something like that. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Enhanced Hammer or Mewtwo.
I'm liking this Pinsir combo though, man. You get the Pinsir with the Fliptini. Oh yeah.
It's a Drew kind of deck.
I'll look it up. In the meantime,
It's flip 2 coins for each heads you discard one of their energy.
oh baby. All right, that's not bad.
For DCE.
Yeah.
Even
That's
I know what
like,
this card does.
A perfect addition to my Torment deck. Anyways,
Crocodile.
oh yeah. Anyways, John Orgle asks, so if you had to make a deck that ran Aspersia City, what attackers would you put in and why? Right away, the first one that comes into mind is the Tornado CX, right?
Yeah, Tornadus, Regigigas,
Buffalant.
Buffalant, Cincino, Wigglytuff, Seismitoad.
All of the above in one deck.
Seismitoad.
I was hoping if anyone
Seismitoad.
caught that.
All right. No, I mean honestly, I know that Kyle mentioned that he liked the Aspersia City gym. Do you feel like people can actually make a deck out of it? Do you feel like the deck can actually be solid enough to run in a tournament?
Yeah, people already use it a lot. They use it with Tornadus
Sure.
mainly. It gives you the blow through plus 30 damage, and it gives your Tornadus 190 hit points, which means most EXs. Well, it means Darkrai doesn't knock it out 2 hits. The plus 20 hit points is so huge, especially if you get an Eviolite too.
Yeah, and another thing is like a lot of people aren't running like counter gyms. Like if it's a basic deck, you're not running counter gems, so like that city just sticks. And then all your things are plus 20, and then you might even run the Eviolites, so that's like man, trying to take down 120 HP Bouffalante that has an Eviolite on it with anything, that's a pain.
Okay. Now, Ben, I want to ask you, if you were to make an Aspertia City gym deck, what Pokemon would you play in it and why?
Oh.
He's lagging a little bit, so we'll give him a couple of seconds.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear my name. Like, it lagged my name out. But I would play Tornadus EX. You can knock out the EXs with it with some plus powers and stuff. I'd play Bouffalante. What is so funny? Anyways, I'd play Bouffalante. I'd probably play Landorus and Terrakion. The regular Terrakion, not the EX. Just because they're pretty good attackers versus stuff. 90 for 2 is pretty good. It's fighting type. It's Darkrai. It's a non-EX, so it hits Sigilif for one shot. Yeah, I mean, I think the fighting colorless combo works well together.
Cool. Fair enough. That's pretty much the consensus here, I guess, that most people believe that that can actually perform.
Wigglytuff and Seismitoad, man. Your Wigglytuffs are like 100 HP.
Oh, Dino.
110.
110.
Eradicate.
Ooh, Eradicate.
Nothing can win a
Dittos.
kill. Yeah.
Amoonguss.
And am I lagging? Fine.
I
Sounds
can't
like
tell
yes.
who's lagging.
All right, cool. Anyways, Paul Hornack's asking the next question, and it is, what is the best Landorus EX deck? Mewtwo Landorus and Darkrai Landorus both have issues. Is there another Landorus deck that I should be looking to play? So he's saying Mewtwo Landorus, not so hot. Darkrai Landorus, not so hot here. I'm missing something.
What?
Okay. Did we lag out for a little bit?
We're fine.
back
I
now.
mean,
Back.
That's true.
Go, go,
Yeah.
go.
Okay. All right, one sec. I am going to re-ask the question because I was lagging now. So anyways, the question was from Paul Hornack, and it was, what's the best Landorus EX deck? Mewtwo Landorus and Darkrai Landorus have both been giving me problems. Is there a Landorus deck that I have been missing out on, basically? Should I be looking elsewhere for a Landorus build?
well,
So,
Kyle plays one Landorus in his Ho-Oh deck. You could play Ho-Oh.
I don't think that's what he was referring to, but
No, he was like referring to things that like if it runs Landorus, can't you just run it?
I mean, sure, but just for the sake of the question, I think we're gonna refer to the deck, or we're gonna talk about a deck that really like focuses around Landorus, and we'll go with that.
Mewtwo Landorus is the best.
Okay.
So let's do
Is
it.
there a reason why?
They cover each other pretty well. Landorus is good against Darkrai. Mewtwo is not very good against Darkrai. And Landorus is not good against Keldeo, but Mewtwo is. So they just kind of work together. They're both huge Pokemon with cheap attacks. It's a deck that normally runs a bunch of plus powers too, so you can end up winning the Mewtwo Wars very well. And it's very, very good against Darkrai too, when you can just get 3 energy on a Landorus, play a plus power, and lands Judgment for 180, and you don't have to discard your energy. Oof. Yeah, you destroy Darkrai if you ever pull that off. So I think Landorus Mewtwo is your best bet. It's won a lot of cities, and it's done very well. So I think that is probably your best variant.
Now, just to spice it up a little bit, why would you personally not want to play Landorus Mewtwo? Or would you actually be more than willing to play Landorus Mewtwo at a city championship?
I might. I just feel very uncomfortable running decks with no energy acceleration. That's the kind of deck where it's just I know I'm limited to just one attachment every turn. Whereas the Ho-Oh deck, I could maybe pull out some surprise. I could rebirth, pull some more energy into play, 2 energy switches, pull off some knockout. That might you're not vulnerable to the crushing hammer decks, which I feel the Mewtwo land would be. Just anything that has inherent problems against crushing hammer plus Sableye. So that would be my reason for not feeling comfortable with that deck.
Okay.
And also, I don't think it's that great against Blastoise.
Okay. And one final question: do you think like that something like EXP sure would maybe shore up some of those weaknesses, or do you feel like it's just still not very good?
I think for the most part, am I here?
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah, you lagged a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, I think for the most part, you would rather just run Eviolite. That is hands down the best tool we have. The minus 20 damage is just too good. I did see Ross Coffin was at my city this past weekend, and he was actually using the deck with EXP share over Eviolite, and I think he ended up losing a mirror match just because Eviolite is so good. So you can see the difference there. I would always run Eviolite over EXP share.
Okay, that's fair enough. Thanks a lot for the answers. Anybody else want to add to that?
What do you think about like a Mewtwo, whatever Landers like Garbodor deck, Kyle? I think you said that did well. Like 1 week you saw. Is that kind of like fluttered out?
Yeah, I do like that. I'm gone.
It's funny because the only thing we can actually pay attention to, or we can actually hear is, "Oh, I'm gone."
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yeah, I like the Garbodor version because it gives you an out versus Blastoise. A lot of the Blastoise decks have been cutting Tool Scrapper, or they run like 1. So you'll end up winning just with Mewtwo and Garbodor against Blastoise. And a lot of the other matchups, just Landorus and Mewtwo will win you that. And it also knocks out Sigilyph because you shut off Safeguard. So I really am a fan of the Garbodor deck.
Okay, that's good. Fair enough. Let's see. Next question. Michael Morton asks, have there been any new deck combos that you've seen that have had surprising effectiveness that have caught someone off guard? For example, something like Sableye Aggron or something like that.
Caught someone off guard.
Gotcha.
I guess the Empoleon Excelgor deck has been kind of creeping up some here and there. Like I saw some at a city I went to, and people were just kind of like unprepared for it. They're like, their basic Darkrai deck just gets Excelgor, and then they're like, oh well, I don't run Switch, you win. Or like they run one Keldeo, and then the Keldeo gets captured in Excelgor, and then it's like, you win.
So nothing really flashy that's actually good.
It's just like it's just decks that are taking advantage of like deck building flaws in other decks because people get like greedy, or they just don't expect this to see this strategy get played, and then it just happens to them and they lose. Just things like that.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I think
the next question. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. There were 2 decks that I found a little surprising that they work so well. First one was an Empoleon Recycle Gold Potion deck, where he would use Gold Potion, and then he would recycle it, and then just use Empoleon to draw it again. If you flip heads on Recycle, it goes back on top of your deck. So basically, if you couldn't knock out Empoleon in one hit, he would just Gold Potion and heal it and attack you again. So I thought that deck was pretty good. He ran Terrakion to deal with Darkrai. I think it had problems with Blastoise, but otherwise it was a really good deck. Definitely not a good matchup for Ho-Oh, seeing as if you ever put Ho-Oh down, you just give up 2 prizes for free. I like that deck. And another deck I saw over the weekend was by Yoshi Tate. a guy I always talk about. He was running Blastoise with 2 Sigilif in his Blastoise deck, with some Psychic Energy. It was actually pretty cool. He realized that Sigilif is pretty good, and it's also pretty good against him. So not only is it a counter against other ones, but he can just kind of wall people in other matchups. So I thought that was pretty neat.
That is neat. Man, that guy, he's innovative, let me tell you. Every time I hear about him, I'm like, that Yoshi.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to the next question now. And this is from Mark Dang. He asks, will you guys do more group commentary? And I like Kyle's commentary, but will anybody else be commentating games soon? That's a really good question. We're looking into doing a little bit of commentary now. We're just it's a matter of getting recording the videos and uploading them. So look for us to be doing quite a bit more commentary. I personally like the group commentary myself as well. I like having multiple casters. I think it really adds to the conversation. So we'll be doing quite a bit of that. And I actually am looking forward to doing some sort of like co-commentary with somebody like Drew, who I have yet to do any commentary with. I think our styles would mesh pretty well. It's just the fact that neither of us has really played very much lately.
I was gonna say none of you's gonna know what's going on.
It's just 2 color commentators. They're just like, here it comes. Yeah, boy, here it comes. Woo!
You're gonna be like, what is that purple Pokemon out there? And Drew's gonna be like,
I don't know.
woo!
Let me look it up.
It's like, why don't you know? Woo!
But yeah, it's a matter of working out the kinks in these things, because I really am looking forward to actually Potter as well. I've been Potter's #1 fan when it comes to commentating. I really do feel like the guy's got to get a little bit more experience under his belt, and he'll actually be really good at. But again, he and I are very similar in our commentating style, so we'll be able to kind of just dish out whatever we can and kind of get feedback from you guys. If you guys like certain co-casters together, then go ahead and let us know so we can provide a little bit more of that.
Once we have like a combination of everyone, we'll put up a poll and be like, what combos do you like the best?
Yeah, man, it's we make it your way, all right? We make the commentating your way. Go ahead and just let us know whatever you guys want to hear. But absolutely, look forward to that. We're going to be focusing a little bit more on that now that really it's going to be hammer. I was going to say hammer time, but I meant crunch time. Going into the national season and regionals and whatnot. So pretty excited about that. Thanks for the question. Michael Battaglia, I probably butchered that, but it's all good. Given that we've gone through a good portion of the season, what kind of opinions do you have of the points invite structure this year? Also, do you think it'd be a good ruling if catcher became treated as an ace spec card? Why and why not? I don't think catcher's ever going to be treated as an ace spec card because it doesn't have the ace spec tag on it. And but thoughts otherwise?
That's not the question.
The question.
Like, suppose if they reprinted catcher and it was an ace spec, like as a fix of it just being a 4 of in every deck.
Yeah.
That's what the guy meant.
I'll step in because Crim's kind of blanking on us, but so yeah. I could entertain the idea of a.
What do you mean? It doesn't say ace spec. I don't understand.
No. I understand. When I said that, I meant like there's no way we're going to see some sort of an errata for it because it wouldn't make sense. It's kind of what
if they print a new card with the same name on it, the new printing takes over.
Or you just restrict it to 1.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but they're not going to do that, I guess. Is what I didn't mean. They're not going to do it. It's not an ace spec.
Anyways, I'll answer the hypothetical. It would be interesting because I feel like catcher at 1 is a very balanced card. It only happens once unless your deck is designed to make it happen multiple times. In which case, there's many ways to disrupt that flow of cards happening. So I think it would be pretty balanced in terms of it being an ace spec. It also prevents you from using computer search or item or the dowsing machine that will come out later. So I think it would be interesting. It would be very good in aggressive decks but like maybe setup decks wouldn't play it, things like that. And I forgot
think
what
it
the
would be
first part
terrible.
was.
You're crazy.
What? Ben?
Keldeo just becomes like a broken card. like the
Keldeo
ability to
has,
just leave guys up there and wall for like turns and turns, like giant EXs, like along with Kling Clang and Hydreigon and stuff. Oh my goodness. Like I think that would actually be like bad right
it's
now
weird.
with EXs that are printed.
Well, like you could do like other things. Like Warp Point would get printed, is going to get printed at some point.
Well, after that gets printed, that's different. But like,
Well, like
as is, I don't like it.
I mean,
You guys are twisting this hypothetical around over and over again, man. You guys are just turning it more and more complicated.
I'd assume other cards would come
That
out.
means I'm winning.
I'd assume like they would print cards other than a one card set of just Catcher Ace Spec. So in that
But
set,
man,
No.
we would get cards that are like coming towards
the
us.
guy said they just changed it to an ace spec.
Oh man,
Look.
this is good.
is what you just have to change your deck building. If Catcher doesn't exist, you just add Ninetales to your deck and you bright look stuff.
Yeah, I mean like
That would be
Oh, man.
infinitely
It would make
worse.
it so the more
Cycle,
aggressive
baby.
decks could still bring things out, but the setup decks don't have that luxury.
This is awful.
It's like,
it would change the way the game is played completely to a more much slower
Worse.
end game pace. Typically the longer the game goes, the more the better player wins. So yeah, I'd enjoy it probably.
It would be a game of haymakers. And I don't mean like the haymaker decks. I mean haymaker punches. But yeah, I am glad it's a hypothetical, and I'm glad that we probably won't have to see something like that happen. But
He agrees with me.
what about the point invite structure? We'll focus on that part of this question. So we'll ask Kyle or Andrew. So go ahead, Kyle.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, so at first I thought it would be too easy to get an invite for most people, but the more I'm playing, I think it's probably about right for getting an invite. You have to really just do well in every portion of the season for the most part, unless you win multiple states and regionals. A lot of the emphasis is still going to come on how well do you do at states and regionals. You have to top cut a couple times, otherwise you're not going to make it. And I think that's fine. I think it gives people enough opportunities to do well, but you can't make it just by winning battles in cities, which I do like.
Sure you
All
can.
right, Drew, do you want to add on to that?
yeah, I think we won't be able to tell until the end of the season and see how many people actually make it under this point structure. At this point, I think it's a good thing. I think the end result will be whether we get a top 32 at Worlds again. I'd like to see it get to that point, so them inviting enough people get over the point limit to get to Worlds, make it a top 32. I'd like to see that. It seems like there's less bickering this year, though, which is a good thing, so I like it.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed is I'm not checking my ratings at all. Like I kind of like know how many points I have, and I'm just like, all right, I need this many points. This is what I need to do, and I don't need to like compete with other people to like on like performance, because like previous years it was always like, oh, top 40, this guy passed me, man, now I got to go to another event. So it's nice where it's like personal performance as opposed to where it was previously.
All right. We're gonna ask a couple more questions, and then we're gonna call it a night for the show. And there are a couple of really good ones that I really do want to ask. So we'll start with Robert M. Davies, and he says, "Hey guys, my son went undefeated in the first 3 cities. If he wins his 4th, do I let him play anymore? Taking points away from others doesn't seem very noble. He wants to attend all of them. Just unsure of what to tell him. Kyle could be in the exact same. Could be in the same spot as I believe he has 3 wins as well. Anyways, any advice would be greatly appreciated. Thanks, Rob." So Kyle, we'll actually let you answer this one at first, since you seem to be closest.
Seems to be lagging a bit.
All right. Did you read the question? Or here?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
But my answer will be cut off.
No, it actually seems like you're good now.
All right.
I get it.
If
I need a drink.
I mean, just play if you want to play. Like, there's no reason to feel bad. You can still win more trophies. You can win more stuff. Don't feel bad about taking points away from people. If you're having fun playing, just go play. If you don't want to spend the effort going to play, then just stay home and relax. I mean, it's up to you. I understand. I'm in the same situation where I would kind of feel bad if I just kept winning and just took points away from people. But at the same time, I would do that even if I hadn't won all those cities already. If I play and knock people out, then it's the same thing. Just I wouldn't be earning them, which is whatever. So there's nothing wrong with continuing to play. Pokemon is fun. Pokemon is meant to be played, whether you can win more stuff or not. So I would say just do whatever you feel like. If you feel bad taking points away from people, then don't play. If you just want to play and have fun, just go play.
Okay. Now, just to play a devil's advocate, you said that it would happen no matter what, but the fact is that if you hadn't won previous cities, then somebody else would have, and the points would have been allocated to somebody else. Now, I'm not saying that it would be wrong to play by any means, but I am going to say that that the points will definitely, be evaporated. The points will disappear, and somebody else could have absolutely had them. Do you feel like that is actually a fair justification for not playing, personally?
I don't think you should ever feel bad about winning. I mean, I don't think it's as big of a deal as people make it out to be. Sure, it might seem like, wow, this guy is a jerk. He's already won, and he's taking more points, and I don't have any. I mean, it's like natural to be jealous of that kind of a thing, or to be upset. But
that's the
at
word.
the end of the day,
jealous. That's the word.
Now, let me take it one step further and say, for example, at the Chicago Marathon, there's going to be a lot of your friends there that are actually traveling for this tournament. Do you feel like that's why you would sit out of these tournaments, because you don't want to make it, you don't want to make it so that you take away your friends' points who happen to be traveling, X miles to actually come to this marathon, and then for you to just let those points evaporate?
for me, it would be more, I don't want to spend my whole day playing if I don't have to. I mean, tournaments are fun, but they are exhausting, especially when you're at a marathon. And I'm going to take any opportunity I can get to just kind of sit out and just enjoy the time with my friends. I don't have to be playing in the tournament to have fun. For me, I guess it's a unique situation because I can cover the event instead. I might feel a little bad if I knocked some of my friends out and I wasn't gaining anything for it.
Just a little bit.
But at the end of the day, that's like not a huge concern for me. If they're gonna beat me, they're gonna beat me. If I'm gonna win, then I'm gonna win. I don't think it's a big deal.
All right. Well said. Ben, do you have a different opinion, or do you share his?
No, I think you should just keep playing if you want to keep playing. If you want to win more packs, you should keep playing. If you really like playing in tournaments and competing, you should keep playing. If they're really your friend, like, they wouldn't really be that upset if you beat them. Like, I know I wouldn't be upset if Kyle beat me and he had full points and knocked me out of cut. That just means that I need to be better.
I can picture you doubting in the middle of losing to him.
Hey man, it's not over until it's over. Once I lose the game, then we'll see what happens. But as of right now, I haven't lost yet, so maybe I'm good.
All right, that's fair enough. Now, Pram, I already know your stance without even having to ask you. You are always you're a member of the group that says competition first. I like my victories, I like my trophies and whatnot. Do you want to add on to that? Because I feel like I just answered your question for you.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, if you want to play, right? Like, don't feel bad about winning, right? If they can't beat you, feel good about that. Feel like good that you're like that dominant. If you want to throw some, if you want to like give the other people a chance by sitting out, you can do that too. You can just like, like if you don't want to play, you can just go hang out, right? But if you want to just play, right, just go play. And good on you for winning 3. Good on you, or 4, whatever, how many you've won. And I hope you keep winning in the future.
Yeah, sorry. All right. Drew, do you have a politically correct answer or no
Yeah.
opinion?
First off, I'd like to give a shout out to Rob. I always seem to play him online, and he always destroys me, so shout out to him. He's a big fan. I love him. Also, maybe I'm an advocate for playing. I would say that first. If you want to play, you should play. But maybe try something else out after you won 4, Maybe you try a different deck and you end up liking that better, and you end up playing that down the road at States or something. So maybe try something else. Live a little.
Be careful of that though, because sometimes you end up like Kyle, and then he like his bad deck Monday decks like seep into like his train of thought, and then you're just like,
Oh no! I won 3 cities. Ugh.
Exactly.
That should not have happened. There should be some losses in those 3 city wins.
There should be many losses in those 3 cities wins. Yeah.
All right. Anyways, the next question is from Jacob Hope, and he says, "Could you guys talk about the future of the big decks now? Will things like Darkrai be able to keep up when the plasma sets add consistency to some of the less popular decks?" Kyle, you're first. Take it away, buddy.
Nope.
Aw, come on. All right, fine. Anybody else want to do it?
Darkrai will survive. It's too good.
Stand the test of time?
Oh yeah. Anything that gives free retreat and does that kind of an attack, that'll stand the test of time. And then like go back into the past and punch everything in the face. So it's good.
When did Darkrai become Chuck Norris?
When it merged with Celebi.
Oh, God. All right, go ahead, Phil.
And it said punch because
Darkrai
Darkrai doesn't have feet, so it can't roundhouse kick people.
It merged with Celebi?
You gotta learn, like, Chuck Norris kicks people. He doesn't punch people in the face. It's roundhouse kicks.
Keep asking.
I'm sure Chuck Norris has something to say about that.
He would enjoy
Punch
these
the
little...
face if he wants to.
He would enjoy these little back and forths.
I think if you look at the results from Japan, you can see that a Darkrai Sableye deck ended up winning one of their big tournaments. So,
Like I think like one of everything won, really. Like an Electric won, Blastoise won, Darkrai won, Landorus Mewtwo won, like everything.
All right.
basically, Poison, Hypnotic, Beam, plus that Stadium won.
Yeah.
Not all of them. I don't think the Blastoise deck played it.
All right,
They all
boys.
played 4.
Don't need to fill the dead air anymore. I got it handled. I have our final question. Are you guys ready?
No, but go ahead.
Good. All right.
No.
Sean Roberts II asks, I've been trying to figure out why everyone says Bianca is better than Sharon. It can often be a dead card that just gets Junipered away, and you must play other cards first to get the most out of it. Otherwise, you get only 1 or 2 cards. I see precious resources wasted just so more cards can be drawn, only to whiff on what is needed. Sharon allows you to draw first so you can know what you can and can't do instead of hoping to get you get what you need, so the cards you used won't be for nothing. What do you guys think about the Sharon versus Bianca debate?
I think it mainly comes down to late game. When you get end to 2 or 1, you're not gonna want a Sharon. You're gonna want a Bianca or a Juniper. So that's like really the big issue. Like early game, mid game, they're pretty much pretty much even, right? You'll get like 3 cards off Bianca. Sometimes you'll get 4, but like when it comes to like super late game, that's when Bianca is just blows Sharon out of the water. and that's the reason why. At least that's the reason why people should be choosing Bianca over Sharon. Now, if their reasoning's like, well, I have Ultra Balls and all these other cards, well, then it's just like, yeah, you do. It kind of helps, but that's not really the main reason you should be using Bianca over Sharon. It's mainly because of N late game.
Maybe.
Anybody
I don't know. I'm not really convinced. I was gonna go through like every single game as like just playing the card as Bianca, and then I was just gonna write down where it would have been better, like for it to be Sharon or Bianca. So like, I see like there's still instances late game where you get like where you have Sharon out of that 2-card hand and you play it and you just get what you need off 3 cards anyways instead of like 5 or 6. I mean that's not completely ridiculous. Some decks don't need like ridiculous amount of cards to draw. Because usually when you're Biancaing for 6 anyways, you're just looking for 1 card anyways. So
yeah, but you're digging less cards.
No, that's 100% true. But that doesn't mean like Sharon's not better in early game, and it certainly could be.
Now, do you guys feel like
if you get so much further ahead early game, you may not need to be so in danger late game.
Okay.
Plus 3 might do it like more than you think. Also about the having the discard, like Sharon off of Juniper, I think you were saying, like in like trying to draw cards or something, or having the discard cards before you Bianca. I think if you're in situations where you're Junipering, that's just something you have to do anyways.
Okay.
And
It depends.
maybe.
Like, if you're 2 cards in hand, like at the end of like your hand, right, is Juniper and Bianca, and you only have those 2, you can just Bianca for 5, and then you have the Juniper for next turn. So.
I know. I've never had 2 cards in my hand before. That's blasphemy.
Do you guys feel like it comes down to? It might potentially come down to something as simple as Ultra Ball count, like how many Ultra Balls you play in your deck would influence something Bianca for Sharon debate.
I think it comes down to what deck you're using, honestly.
Yeah. Like, if you can't afford the discards, and, it comes down to card management. Sometimes you just gotta play your cards really tight to get the full use out of Bianca. Whereas Sharon, you can just kind of draw your 3, you know what you're getting out of that. So, it's just like a bunch of like little things. To be honest, like the difference between them early mid is like very small. I think it's like, again, I just think it's like the late game potential is like way higher for Bianca simply because it just draws more cards. So
Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna ask you guys one question.
Alright.
That is Bianca or Sharon. Which one do you choose? And I'm gonna start with Pram. I want you to choose one or the other, not give me a politically correct answer. Like it depends on
Bianca.
what deck
Without even doing like any statistics whatsoever, like without even trying Sharon, you want me to just give an answer?
Yes.
Refuse.
Sharon or Bianca? Which one do you prefer?
If I have to pick, I'll just pick Bianca because it's the safe pick right now, and I haven't done any homework on Sharon.
I like that answer.
Although he's done homework, he looks pretty studious.
All right, Drew. What about you? What do you think?
I mean, if you got a full art Bianca, you're gonna play the full art Bianca. You just want to see that, but no.
And not everyone wants to see that, Drew. Don't judge.
But no, I think Bianca lets you hit home runs at points where Sharon does not. So Bianca would be my choice.
All right, and there's been 3 Biancas so far. Kyle, do you want to complete it?
Can I explain my stance on the situation first?
Oh, absolutely. Please.
Alright, I don't know if I'm probably going to lag out again, but I really do feel like it's dependent on your deck. At first, I actually did run Sharon.
Yeah. Okay. So Kyle's gonna give some politically correct answer where it like depends on your play style, depends on your deck. There's no real good answer. You can choose one or the other. It doesn't really matter. And just go with what you feel like you want to play.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think that's that close to what he was gonna say. I think I know what he was gonna say.
Is Kyle even lagging? Is that Kyle up there?
So,
It's a bulbous.
you know, play what you want to play, but for people who take stances, just pick one. And like, chances are, you play 3 plus Ultra Balls in your deck anyways.
I
So
think I'm back.
Listen, man. There's lots of situations where Sharon is way better. Like you
man.
draw that starting hand, and you have one supporter and like no playable cards, and your one supporter is Bianca. You just poop bricks.
I do agree with you.
But if you have Sharon, you're like, yeah, let's do something. And there's also like the Ho-Oh deck where you have like that 4 or 5 card hand where you don't want to discard any of your cards with your Ultra Ball just because they're like energies and they're pretty useful. You get that Sharon, man, draw them 3 cards. That's a utility.
Okay, Kyle, are you back?
I think so.
Okay, go ahead and try to give us your politically correct answer, please.
Please. First, I did use Charon in my decks at first because I didn't like Bianca. Just most of the time, it would just end up being a Charon at best. But then the more I played, the more I realized that games just kind of came down to ends. So it'd be like end to 1 or 2, and then I need to draw like a catch for win. So Bianca ended up being better. So over time, I've actually phased Sharon out of most of my decks, but I can still see it being useful in a lot of decks. I think it's more useful in decks that like build up your hand where you can't afford to play your hand out and then, just to draw more cards. In a deck like I'm using, like Ho-Oh, you can afford to discard a lot of cards. You can afford to bench a lot of things early. And so I like Bianca better. Because early game, it's going to be... Most of the time, it's going to be just as good as Charon. You're going to draw 3, maybe 4. Sometimes you draw 2, whatever. But at the end of the game is where it shines. And I feel like if you're going to burn all of your Charons early on, which I see happen most of the time with Charon, like people just play it early, you draw 3, and then eventually when you get N to 1, the main supporter you have left in your deck is N. So you don't want to be drawing another N off of 1 or 2 cards. That's where I like Bianca much better. I don't think there is a right or wrong answer, but most of the time I'm going to pick Bianca right now, just because it's better against N. But if you're playing a deck where you can't afford to like throw away like Max Potions early, like a Clink Clang kind of a deck, then I would probably prefer Charon. But if you're playing just like a straightforward deck, in general, I think Bianca is better.
Thank you very much. That was a good answer.
I was pretty close on Kyle's.
That was pretty close.
Yeah, right? That was pretty good.
It wasn't as long, but it was pretty close.
You gave no
You guys also play
specifics.
Style.
Of course it was close. Mike gave 0 specifics.
That's what Kyle did.
No, he didn't. He
For a
like
good amount.
Max.
And then, like...
And he said Max Potion. He gave way more ding words. Like ding,
Words.
ding, not like, ding.
It's okay, man. I get it. I'm just a prophet. I just understand
Just-
these
I
situations.
don't think it's very hard to guess what Kyle has to say. Ever. Okay. So let's just say that much.
Much better you.
I have one final question for you guys, and this one's for myself. Do you guys still play Skyla? And how many copies of Skyla do you guys play? Do you guys still feel like it's a good card to keep playing?
Yes, I do play Skyla. And, like, everything. And
2 to 4
I don't
Skyla
play
in every
Or
deck.
copies
decks anymore.
What was that? You guys all came in at once.
I don't play in basic decks anymore.
I play Skyla in my Ho-Oh deck. Simply because, like, there's a lot of cases where, like... I don't play a lot. I play, like, 2, right? There's a lot of cases where you're just like... Well, I'm 1 trainer off from just, like, taking this knockout. And if I'm going to have to dig for it anyways, I might as well just have the Skyla in my hand, just go get it, and then my hand will be complete. And then I'll have that draw card for later for when I get end. So it's just kind of one of those, like, situations. So I think Skyla is really good. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I was kind of obviously without playing the game in a while. I was theorizing a couple days ago, and I was thinking that Skyla is just really hard to fit into a lot of these decks that don't really use rare candy. Really, the main reason to use Skyla, in my opinion, would be for something like rare candy, which is so crucial and just so hard to find. But it's becoming kind of clear to me that these cards are just. I mean, these decks are just packed, man. Like, I was trying to build a deck, and I was like, I'm at 70 cards. I can't really figure this out. And yeah, I had a Freudian slip right now. But anyways, Scala is a card that I would love to play. I can't figure I can't figure that every deck would be able to use it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Originally, my first hole, and every time I had it, I was just like, I have to make a decision. Do I want to grab a catcher, or do I want to grab a supporter?
Comes back to us.
Huh.
Let me know when Crim comes back.
I think the call is just lagging really bad.
The Crim went down though, so at some point, or I think it's still down. Call it.
Alright. Yeah, it seems like whenever like the call hits a big lag spike, frames drop and causes the stream to shut down. So
Because Kyle actually brings down the stream himself.
yeah, I don't know.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm getting is whenever there's a lag spike, frames drop from the stream and then it drops.
Call Castle.
Oh god.
Anyways.
Well, I'm just waiting for the stream to come back up.
I think it's back.
It's not back on mine. I keep refreshing it and it's still, yeah.
It's back for me, dog. Woo!
How did you make that tumbleweed thing?
Pram, is it back for you?
I don't have the stream up, man. I don't have
I
enough
wanna know about
monitors
the
for this.
tumbleweed.
All right. Okay, it's back for me now. So,
How the tumbleweed?
The smiley band.
are we recording, by the way?
Yeah, I haven't stopped recording.
All right. Perfect. In that case, I hope everybody saw or liked what we had to give you guys. You guys had some great questions, much like pretty much every other week. So, thanks a lot for those. You can hopefully stay tuned to us for some cool news coming up from the Top Cut, and we'll be posting it on our Facebook page in the upcoming days. What else do I want to ask? Please subscribe to our Twitch page. On basically, if you guys are watching it live, it's the current page that you're on right now, and it would say subscribe on it. All you have to do is just click on that little button, and it would really help us out a lot. I really do hope you guys do that because it would go a long ways towards increasing our production value and things like that. Actually, somebody asked if we wore parachute pants, and I wasn't going to ask it because it's a really embarrassing story, but I might as well let you guys in on a little secret. My mom has a really bad sense of humor, and when I was a young lad, she made me wear some parachute pants every once in a while, and there's some pretty terrible pictures that, like, picture the Asian kid from, the little Asian kid from, what is that song? Gangnam Style. You know, the little kid just doing that dance? Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
That was me, just Mexican instead of Asian. So,
Dude, that kid is awesome.
Yeah, man. Except for I couldn't dance either, so I was like,
well, then you're not.
yeah, well, I was the worst of both worlds. But at least I had the pants, right?
Well,
And,
to be fair, Crim was awesome, and then he grew up.
oh, ouch.
Oh, kidding.
All I'm gonna say is,
Crim was awesome at some point.
all I'm gonna say
Yeah,
is,
man, have
there's
you
a
seen his
picture
senior
circulating
project?
of Kyle, from his senior year, which is actually the funniest, most awesome picture of all time. And I hope everybody gets to see it in the near future because it is. I'm telling you, it's a Kyle. It's a side of Kyle that you've never seen before. And I loved every minute of that picture. But yeah, that was the embarrassing story with the parachute pants. Hopefully, those pictures never surface. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Really do appreciate it. At Crims23, please follow me on Twitter. Every once in a while, I'm a funny guy, and when I'm not, I just randomly blurb about pretty much anything going on, usually StarCraft. So go ahead and follow me on that too as well, please. Too as well. You get that? Potter, please go ahead and say your goodbyes, my man.
Thanks for watching.
All right. This has been
Appreciate you.
All right. So I guess I'll go.
Ahead, yeah, go ahead, bro.
Follow me at Michael Pram on Twitter. You know, it's always great to see new followers. I recently hit 400, so it's a nice little milestone for me. You know, trying to get more. I tweet about pretty much like things I see, or if I find it funny, or things like that. If you ask a question, I'll tweet back. Things like for the most part, I'll tweet back. And we're gonna try to get some. I'll try to get some match videos up from the Leonardtown regional or cities we had. I don't know no guarantees though. We had some like technical issues, but I'll see what I can do. You know, again, subscribe to our Twitch page. It really helps us out a lot. We really can't emphasize that enough. Yeah, and if you're going to any of the cities that I am attending, you know, please come say hi. It's always great to like meet you guys, see you guys again, all that jazz. And yeah, thanks for watching. And Drew,
Follow me on Twitter. I'm awesome. I haven't really tweeted much recently. Been kind of not busy at work, so I get bored and zone out. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get to some cities. I have a week off of work I think in 10 days or something like that, right around Christmas. So I'm gonna try to get to some cities, play some stuff. Tweet me where you guys are gonna be at. I might try to go to Chicago Marathon just for New Year's, hang out with the boys, and that type of thing. So take it away, Kyle. Woo!
Alright. I'll be in Chicago for the Chicago Marathon. Come say hi. Should be a great time. And we'll be there too. We'll have a lot of fun. I do have lots of videos from cities to get to. I actually have me playing against Jason Kuzinski in the finals twice. So I have those games ready to put online. And otherwise, I'm just going to be making some videos. Sorry, I've been a little light on the content lately, but I've been sick. Some other stuff going on. So
Sick?
we'll,
You got a girlfriend. That's the reason, guys.
I was sick
Love
too.
sick, baby.
So yeah, I'll have more videos up soon. I'll update stuff on the site. I haven't updated like what one city's thread, so I'll do that too. So look for that stuff. Otherwise, thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. Go to our YouTube page. It's Top Cut Pokemon, Facebook as well. All that good stuff. Follow us on Twitch TV. And thanks for watching. We probably won't be here next week. If we don't, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everyone. And we'll see you guys later. Have a good night.
Merry Christmas, guys.
So.
later.